Hi, my name is Matt Violasi. I'm with PinstripeKids.com. I'm going to show you how I pinstripe a car. I've been doing it 35 years, and this is how I do it, what works for me. The first step is to clean the car. I use 3M vinyl. The manufacturer wants alcohol. I use either 70%, sometimes 91%. What's nice about this 70%, it has about 30% water to, rid the dirt-based contaminants, and then the alcohol cuts the greases from the air, waxes, road junk. So anyway, cleaning is most important to do it correctly. What I do is just get some on a virgin towel. I use these paper brawny lads or whatever they are. You can get them anywhere. So don't use old rags. Use something virgin every time. So anyway, get it wet. I start from one side. I start scrubbing. Now I'm just trying to basically loosen stuff up first time. And get it. It cleans a little bit. You can see the dirt on here. But after you go down the whole side, what you want to do is take another virgin area and do a final wipe in one direction. Because if you go back and forth, you're just smearing contaminants around. You want to do a final wipe, and then maybe even a second, okay? That's how to properly clean the vehicle. Okay, you can cut. The next step is to put marks, is the easiest way. A lot of us older guys, we just do it by eye. We kind of judge our gaps. Plus the manufacturer's panels can jog a little bit in their height. But anyway, an inch is about a good gap. You can go, half inch, 1 inch. This is obviously striped already, so I'm just going to stripe below it for just demonstrative purposes. So, you can take some little pieces of tape. These are about 1 inch, and put them between each gap, like so. Okay? The next step is we're going to stripe the vehicle. I use 3M. We get this custom made. It's the best I've found. I've tried everything over the years. This car, by the way, and I'm not sponsored by 3M, by the way. This vehicle I striped new when I bought it in '07. This is a 10-year-old vehicle. It's been most of its life outside, 2410, and the stripes look like new. I mean, the stuff is just good. It's the best I've found. So anyway, I usually, our two-tone pinstripe comes off in 2 colors. We use 2 tones a lot. So this one's coming off the roll with black on top. Now which is good for, if you purchase one of our kits and it has a fancy front arrow. The arrows are black on this configuration because it's the most brightest color. Dark shows up the best. So you want to flip it and have black on top. Well, sometimes these rolls, they come off the other way with gray on top. Now let's just say I want a gray on top like this existing stripe. I need to pull off about 5 arm lengths because this end of the stripe's going to have the gray on top. Okay, just however you want to do it. Okay, I'm going to cut it right there. Okay, the next step is I'm going to apply the pinstripe. Got a clean car, got my markers up. Now, we could start from the front of the vehicle. On a lot of vehicles you can do this. On this one, it's going downhill, the front fender, and it's kind of hard to stripe going uphill. It just is. It tends to be. You can many times get a nice, smoother, flow down, striping downhill. Okay. So the best thing to do is a lot of ways I do it is I start at this front panel right here and then start striping in the back of the vehicle. Now, you can go one panel at a time. I'm just laying this one down, again, marker to marker, okay? A lot of times you get a straighter line if you go a couple, that wasn't good, ran out of tape there. A lot of times it's easier if you get a straighter line if you go a couple panels at a time. So in this case, I'm going to start here, and this is sometimes where I start in the middle of the vehicle, come backwards, go to your marker, this masking marker, come back. And then you can take the other half of the stripe and go forward and come down the front fender. So there's different ways you can do this. Now on a cooler day, you can, if the vehicle's cooler, you can snap this back and relay it. But as you notice here, it's already getting kind of warm today, and it pulled up, and I couldn't, I can't relay it. This piece of stripe is damaged. But on a lot of cooler days, you can snap the stripe all the way back and relay it if you want. So on a warm day, you kind of only have one chance, one shot. So, but it's not that hard. Just, you know, start at your point and, you know, your marker, come back and lay her down. Okay? Anyway, so that's how you apply the first, that's how you apply the stripe. Now we're going to go to trimming. You say a little bit of something about striping down a curved surface. I'm going to snap this back. This one came back okay without sticking and damaging it and coming away from the top carrier, clear carrier. Anyways, you come down, when you're striping a curve, what the easiest way, instead of making this whole wide plane of tape try to conform to a curve, if you slightly rotate the stripe a little bit, actually the stripe is on its edge now, and it's easier to come down on a curve with on an edge. So I'm slightly curving just like so and coming down like so, rather than keeping it flat and trying to have that conform to the curve. Now we're going to trim the car. I'm going to have you come back here, honey. You step right there. Usually we jog it like so. And again, I use a curved blade. It's a number 10 X-Acto. The beauty of this is you don't have a point going into the car. If you use a zip knife, you got to stick that point in, cut the car, cut the paint, damage it. It's not good. I've never had to repaint a car or score one where it starts rusting with these. All right, so I've trimmed my little jog like I did here, and I'm going to start pulling this back. And now I'm pulling this clear carrier back. The carrier is so when you lay it, it won't, the stripes won't stretch like chewing gum. The carrier, clear carrier, keeps it in place. Now it's very important when you are removing the carrier to pull not down with the clear carrier, not up, but straight with your finger over the existing stripes, like a choo-choo train tracks. I have taught over the years, you know, put your finger down and just follow the choo-choo train tracks. You do about 6-8 inches at a time. You're pressing down, okay? You're coming down like so. That's how you do it. Okay, now when I come to trim, and you go take it off the whole vehicle. Now when I'm coming to trim between two panels, I usually come in about 1/8 inch, 1/16 of an inch, okay? And I either roll it like we talked about, rolling the blade, or click, click. You know, you can feel what the blade's doing through the vinyl, so you don't have to cut the paint. To take it out, I like putting the blade underneath it, put my finger on top, pull it back. Now, you'll see on the other installer guys, they'll just make a cut inside of here, and then open the door and curl it. I don't like doing that for a couple reasons. A, it's hard to clean many times. It stretched a little bit, and it seems to come undone. So I don't like that way. It looks a little nicer, but for some people, but from the factory, Cadillac and Ford and Jeep, they used to many times, for their factory painted stripes in the 80s and 90s, they'd still leave that 1/8 inch gap. So I like it, it works. So anyway, you come all the way to the front. Now I'm going to just show you a simple arrow. I'm going to show you now how we finish our front arrows, how I do with a standard arrow. Again, if you purchase one of our kits, I've got 2 different kind of fancy front arrows. They're real nice. A lot of times people just like a traditional arrow, which is 2 to a point, meaning 2 lines converging. So how to do that one, I'll show you in this one. The other ones have videos for the front fancy arrows. The easiest way to do this is just figure out where you want to end it. Usually about 1 inch from the front is what I do. and then you make a click and a cut on the top stripe. Okay, then you don't pull the backing, the clear carrier, all the way off. You leave it on for this part, and you gently tease back the stripe. It's going to be just pulling back the bottom stripe because you want this one as your kind of base. And then as you're moving the stripe, I'm exaggerating this, as you're moving the stripe up to the top line, you're pressing at the same time, like so. The further you come back, the more of a gradual error you're going to have. Then to finish it, you just do a click on the black, and there you have it. One thing I like to do also is just bring the bottom line over the top line halfway. So I'm leaving some of the top color showing because it looks pretty, and because the bottom stripe actually gets to bite onto at least 50% of the paint. It's on paint. The other 50% of it's up on another vinyl stripe, although this vinyl stripe sticks to itself very well. So when you're all done now, you want to press, go ahead and press, kind of hard on the stripe. This is actually called, been called many years, pressure sensitive vinyl, and with that, the reason they called it that, or call it still, is because the adhesive is actually a bunch of teeny micro dots adhered to the inside of the vinyl stripe, and when you press it, you're actually kind of exploding those little pieces of adhesive and ensuring really good adhesion. So you press it all the way down when you're finished, and there you go. It's basically done. The other videos talk about how to put in a small graphic that we carry in our name kits, or the logo. Basically, I don't think I included this in the previous videos, but really the easiest way to put in a name kit is to put a piece of masking tape underneath, and then put your graphic up, and then mark on the stripe where it's going to go, cut those pieces out, pull them out, and then you're ensured a straight line when you put the little name graphic decal on, because you're watching this gap underneath and making sure it's consistent with the bottom of the decal, pressing it across. So that's the way to ensure that this name decal isn't going up or down or waving out. So that's it. Thank you for your time.